Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about ID cards. Recently I took one of my soldiers out to get his ID card made, and he had some questions, like could he bring his friend on base, how would he go about doing that, and what does he need to bring for his ID card, things like that. So we're going to get into that. Common access card. Things that you need to bring to get your ID card. 1. Social Security or some other form of identification, and your driver's license or some state ID that has your picture on it. Only 2 things you need to get your ID card, as well as possibly your orders if you haven't had an ID card before. Basically, your common access card is a identification card that also has a little chip in it now, and that chip allows you to get into different military computers and things like that. It also has a barcode with your DoD ID, and so you can scan that when you're on base. To get your ID card, you have to go to the same place that you would to get a dependent and ID card, basically the DEER's office. So the DEER's office is the Defense Enrollment Eligibility Reporting System. Basically that's just where you go to tell the military that you have dependents, things like that, get your ID card, get them ID cards so that the military knows that you're taking care of these people and that they should have the same privileges as you, pretty much. So just keep that in mind, that you need to go to the DEER's office. Usually what they'll have you do is you come in, you sit down, you check in on a computer, they call you up, they ask you what you need, your ID card, you just give them the proper forms of identification, tell them that you need an ID card, and they take the picture, you enter in a PIN, and then you're all good to go. They print it out, and yep, you just grab it. To bring your friend on base, what he will need to bring is his driver's license or some form of state ID that has a picture on it, as well as he needs to either bring his Social Security or memorize it so that he has it for the form that he needs to fill out. When it comes to bringing your friends or family on base, everybody over the age of 18 has to have a pass, a photo ID, and needs to present both of those to the gate guard, which is either an MP, a civilian, or somebody related to the military. Or if they're under 18, so 17 and below, they need no ID, nothing. They just need to be with you, and you have to basically sponsor them on, and they have to stay with you at all times. So once you get on base, everything you pay for, pretty much, as far as PX or anything that has to do with AFES, you have to pay with your card and your ID card, because they don't really let people buy anything on base if they don't have an ID or they're non-military related. Now when you go to get your ID card, make sure that you have a couple things figured out already. 1, what code are you going to use? Are you going to use a phone number or something like that? Because you have to have a code to set up your ID card, and that's so that you can access files and different computer systems and things like that. So think about a code before you go. Also, I highly suggest that you get your hair cut and you're clean shaven and you just look as nice as possible, because that's the picture that's going to be on there until it either expires or you go out and get a new one. Also, when getting on base, make sure that your vehicle has up-to-date tags and there's no suspicious activity going on inside the vehicle, such as like reaching for something or anything like that. Act as if though it's a police stop, so hands on the wheel, present ID card, put it back, drive off. That easy. Don't get complicated trying to reach for different things in the glove compartment. And even sometimes they will do a surprise inspection. When they do that, you're going to pull off to the side, they're going to have you pull everything out and get all your items stating that your vehicle is up to date, registered, insured, and then they're going to probably check the vehicle, so make sure you don't have any firearms with bullets in them. Make sure that the bullets and the firearm are apart. Make sure you don't have any drugs or anything in there. You shouldn't anyway, because you're in the military. And just make sure you're pretty squared away. Most bases will have a visitor center, and that's where you go to get your pass or whatever you need. Sometimes though you'll get there after hours, and if that's the case, you should be able to just go directly to the gate and get the MPs or SF or whoever it is to print off your pass for you. It's going to take a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth it. So guys, that's pretty much my little spiel on ID cards and the Deer's office and things like that. How to get your friends on base. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, hope it helped, and you guys have a wonderful day.